With the rising prices in the grocery stores, buying canned chicken stock can be somewhat expensive. Today I'm going to show you how to make your own chicken stock by scratch. It's quite simple, very easy, and affordable. This is Alan from Barbecue Smoker. Let's get cooking. Okay, now we're going to make a mirepoix. It's a fancy French term for sliced up vegetables. It's carrots, onions, celery, and garlic. We're going to take a sharp knife. A sharp knife is a safe knife. I know that's kind of an oxymoron, but if your knife is not sharp, it could slip and you could cut yourself. So a sharp knife ensures that it goes pretty smooth. Here I have my Shun vegetable cleaver, and just proper knife technique is to pinch the knife, and a lot of people will go like this, but and then I just usually will rock it. So I'm just going to slice it at an angle. Take your time, 1/4 inch slices. There's no science behind this because it's actually gonna simmer in a pot. I'll leave the skin on so it gets more of the vegetables and the flavor of the carrot. And what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and finish up these carrots, and we'll continue on to the next vegetable. Okay, with the onion, I will just typically cut the bottom of the onion on both sides. I'm going to try to leave as much skin on as possible. So I'm just going to take like that, and then just take an outer layer because I want as much flavor from the onion that I can. So just again, take the outer layer off. And then with this also just cut it in half so then you get a base so it's safe. And then I'm just gonna again 1/4 inch slices. And they can be big chunks. Let's do this bad boy right here. Again, no science to it. It's actually going to be boiled in water. Let's finish up the other onion and we'll get back to the rest of the vegetables. Right, next we'll just break up the garlic. Take the flat end of your knife. You hear it pop. One more time. Let's open the garlic. And all you're going to do is, I'm going to use like 2 garlics, and same thing, just that releases the garlic. There you go. And I'm just going to cut this up in small pieces. And I'm going to finish that up with the rest of my garlic, and we'll show you the celery. Alright, finally we're going to go ahead and slice up the celery. Again, I'm running out of room on my cutting board here, so it's falling off the table. But you get the idea. We're just going to go ahead and finish cutting this up, and we'll prep the next stage. Okay, here we have the classic mirepoix, sliced up vegetables. We're going to go ahead and get the frozen parts of chicken. Usually when I half chickens or fabricate them, I'll save enough so I can do 2 or 3 chickens at one time. I have 3 chickens. I'm going to go ahead and toss them into a large pot. We're going to fill it with some water, and we're going to toss the vegetables in, and we'll do that next. Right, guys, I have a large pot. This pot only fit 2 chicken carcasses. I'm going to do another pot separately from this video, and I filled it up about 3/4 way with water, and I'm going to go ahead and toss in the vegetables. And what you want to do is you want to simmer the pot, so you don't want it to come to a boil, because if it boils all the fats that are going to release from the chicken will get infused into the to the water, and you don't want that. So just let it come up to a simmer, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to, with a ladle, take off the fat that floats to the top. So I'll show that process here in a few once we get the water to that temperature. So check back in a few minutes and I'll show you that step next. Here we have the large pot with 2 chicken carcasses, and the third I have in another pot going on. I couldn't quite fit it all into this pot. I've got the mirepoix into the pot. That's the cut up vegetables that we did earlier. And the cooking process of making your own stock takes about 6 to 8 hours. I know some people do it longer, but that's long enough for me. And what you want to do is you want it to come up to a good simmer, not a boil. If it boils, the fats that come off the meat that float to the top will render into the stock, and it won't make it quite as pure. So if you watch it, and once it comes up to a simmer, the fats and impurities will float to the top, and then you just need to skim that off with a ladle. We'll check back in a few minutes. Once it gets to that point, check back soon. Welcome back, guys. I don't know if you can see the fat right here that's coming to the surface. These are the impurities that we want to remove during the cooking process of the stock. So let's go ahead and do that now. Here we've got a ladle, and all you're going to do is just take that and just remove it. It's a little bit of a lengthy process, but it's going to be well worth it. And if you take a little bit of the vegetables with you, that's fine. As you see, it's not quite a boil, it's simmering. And I'm going to go ahead and skim off the top surface of this. I'm going to finish it up. And you want to do this throughout the entire process, so I would check back every 15 minutes or so. If it starts to boil, you can always add a little bit of water, and or turn it down. So I'll check back periodically throughout the cooking process and show you the progress. Here we go, guys. The fat impurities are starting to surface. You just want to skim that off. And this is almost too much of a boil, so I turn the heat down just a tad. And that way it simmers down. See how right there's what we're looking for. That not quite a boil, but simmering. And then just scoop off the fat. Right there, see, there you go. And that's how you get a pure stock, or as pure as you can get it. So again, we'll check back in a few minutes. Actually, probably more like a half an hour. So, but during the time of video, you won't see that. Alright, guys, we've been going for about 7 hours now. I'm gonna cook it for about another hour. But the last hour, what I typically do is I add my dry seasonings in there. I'm gonna add about 10 whole peppercorns, and I'm gonna add about 3 teaspoons of dried parsley. This helps, release the aromatics into the chicken stock. We're gonna cook for about 1 more hour. We're gonna let it rest or cool off, and then I'm gonna strain the chicken parts and the vegetables and whatnot. So check back in a few minutes, or actually about an hour, sorry. Hey guys, I've turned off the pot and I've let it cool for about an hour. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and strain off the big pieces of vegetable and chicken pieces into another pot. We'll do that right now. And then what we'll do next is we'll pour the remaining stock into a sieve, into another pan. That way it allows it to strain off any impurities that I can't get with this, with the strainer. So we'll do this right now, and I'll finish this up, and we'll check back in a few minutes. Alright guys, I've strained off all the vegetables and chicken pieces from the pan and poured it into a stainless steel pan, and I'm going to let it cool off for about an hour or so. At that point, what I'm going to do is put it in the refrigerator overnight, so then that way it can harden up a little bit. And what will happen is this fat that you see, or oil that you see on the top, will harden, and then you can just scrape it off, you know, the following day. At that point, I will place it inside these ziplock containers, and this will allow me to freeze my stock. And I'll probably get, I'm guessing, you know, 16 cups here of stock. So the price that I paid for my vegetables, it was maybe around $5 or so. If you check the price that you pay for a can of chicken broth or chicken stock, you know, it's about $1 a can of, so I'm getting much more for about $5. So again, guys, thanks for watching my YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed watching this.